Yusuf was just 10 years old, but carried the weight of a man selling shawls to help his mother. When you give for Allah, He gives you more. Always begin with Bismillah and say Alhamdulillah when He blesses you. Yusuf lived with his mother in a small, humble home on the edge of the desert. Every morning before the sun rose, his mother sat by the window, hand-stitching shawls with love, care, and quiet du'as. And every week, little Yusuf would walk for hours across the desert to the city market to sell those shawls. At just 10 years old, he was strong, honest, and carried responsibilities far beyond his age. One day, on his usual journey, a weak-old man sat near the road, hunched over with torn clothes and tired eyes. As Yusuf passed by, the man softly called out, "Do you have a shawl to spare, son?" "I have no money, but the nights are cold." Yusuf paused. He only had 2 shawls left. Selling them meant he could buy rice and lentils for his mother. But as he looked into the old man's eyes, something touched his heart. Without a word, he took one shawl and wrapped it gently around the man's shoulders. The man looked up and smiled. "You gave without expecting. So I will give too." He reached into his bag and pulled out a tiny sewing needle, worn but shining. "Give this to your mother," he said. "Tell her to begin every stitch with Bismillah. This is no ordinary needle. It won't make her rich overnight, but it will bring ease, beauty, and barakah to your home." Yusuf hesitated, unsure if a needle could change anything. But he accepted it, thanked the old man, and continued his journey. He sold the last shawl and returned home with just enough to buy food for the week. When he handed the needle to his mother, she smiled warmly and said, "Beta, we always say Bismillah, but let us do so now with even more faith." She used the needle to sew her next shawl, whispering Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim with every stitch, and then slowly things began to change. The thread glided smoothly, the designs looked more beautiful, the work became easier, and when Yusuf took the new shawls to the market, people noticed. They stopped, admired, and asked who made them. Orders started to come in. 1 shawl turned into 2, 2 into 5. One day, a kind woman at the market said, "There's something special in your mother's work. I'd love to order for my shop." Word spread. They were still poor, but now there was food, warmth, and peace in their home. That night, Yusuf dreamed of the old man again. This time he looked strong and full of light. He said, "You passed your test. You gave with your heart and Allah returned it with barakah. Never stop helping others. And never forget, Bismillah is the beginning of every blessing. Always begin with Bismillah, and when Allah blesses you, say Alhamdulillah."
Thanks for watching. Bye!